My job promoting something God values in the world. We are all here, all of us, with one job to do. We are to be true to humanity. We are bound by God and to our fellow men to make right what we have done wrong. The wrongs are many, but the worst may be how we turn our backs on the men and women who have gone to war and who have come back to face pain and hardship. I am not a veteran, however, I am a Christian who has seen how tragically we fail those who have been wounded and scarred by war. In finding work that enables me to help veterans in crisis, I will be promoting the interests of God and attending to the humanity He Himself so loves. Briefly, I will be bringing to your attention the seriousness of veteran issues, the inadequacies of our agencies dealing with these issues, and my ideas for a strategy I can utilize to make a difference for the better. Issues facing veterans are as old as war and just as horrific. Then when we talk about the issues of veterans and the many problems they face, we are not talking about those returning from one war. It happens all the time and after every armed conflict by the United States and the wars it engages in. Veterans of the Vietnam War, however, truly brought home to Americans the devastation of the experience. A 1994 study has conclusively found that both battle situations and exposure to wartime atrocities vastly contribute to veteran drug abuse and psychiatric disorders and social isolation, largely created by society's unwillingness to support these people. Both Korean and Vietnam War veterans, equally plagued by these problems, have seen the significance in homeless populations with every war and subsequent wave of returning soldiers. The issues persistently appear and become intertwined. The inability to keep a job leads to despair, which leads to substance abuse. Severe emotional traumas experienced in combat become chronic disorders because of a lack of support at home. The more we disregard the veteran, the worse we make conditions for him or her and for the society as a whole. Our treatment of veterans has unfortunately been ignored over the years and is woefully inadequate. Wars dictate response, and the perceived valor of World War II armed forces were a long way in encouraging a positive welcoming home. The government initiated the GI Bill to grant loans for education and housing for those veterans. And this was all based on a national pride at work. Unfortunately, World War II veterans with issues slipped through the cracks, and the problems these men faced would be greatly amplified when veterans of the war would come home to a nation eager to forget the entire experience. A great many programs have been designed to assist veterans in recent years in housing, employment, and education. The problem is money. For example, the 2007 presidential budget was set to fund less 12% of these veterans' objectives. It is clear if the past efforts are any measure that governmental response cannot begin to address the real needs of veterans. As a social worker directly involved in veteran affairs, my approach would be where I believe the issues must be addressed on the home front. The reality is inescapable whether the nation embraces the returning soldiers or it's embarrassed by them. These people have undergone extreme experiences and need help in readjusting. Study after study supports that therapeutic support is essential for the veteran. We cannot expect veterans to maintain jobs if we do not find help. Find help to reintegrate them into the community. We cannot expect veterans to contribute to society if we do not provide them with the tools to work with. Most of all, we cannot expect the government to do the job we must do for veterans and right where they live. A Christian holds the values because they reflect the values of God, and no greater Christian value exists than that of caring for our neighbors. Our veterans are our neighbors and have experienced a great deal for the benefit of others. They face crippling emotional and societal issues and receive only minimal support from the government that sent them into battle. Most tragically, they're taken back as a source of shame or as a disturbing and unknown stranger. Only by being true to Christian principles of doing good for those around us, right within our own communities, can we hope to erase these vast problems. I strongly believe that in doing work for that allows me to help veterans in crisis. I will be promoting the interests of God and attending to the humanity He Himself so loves.